What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Pierre. I'm back with another video. First and foremost, forgive me for having this wrinkly shirt. I was too lazy to change it. Aside from that, today's video is going to be about some of my biggest regrets that I have as a filmmaker, and also some things that I think you all can learn from, some of the lessons I've learned as a filmmaker. For starters, the number one thing I want to touch on is, what is it called? Gear acquisition syndrome. That's the feeling that we need this new gear, this new thing, this, that, to go and create our best content. As one of my subscribers, and I also said a couple months ago, new gear definitely inspires you to create. So let's get that out the way. New gear makes you want to go out there and create, but you do not need new gear in order to create your best content. Now, sometimes there is gear that will help you better create content. For example, I'm using a 20 to 35 f2.8 millimeter lens. I could be shooting this same video with an f4 lens. f2.8 does look better. So in those situations, yes. But let me tell you something. Instead of saying, hey, I gotta get the Canon f2.8 lens, you might can go grab the Yongnuo. Like, there are alternative options. You don't always need the newest, latest, greatest gear in order to create your best content. The biggest one for me, pretty much outside of that one, something that I definitely want to touch on, is overthinking. Overthinking is number one. A lot of times we create, we're like, I don't know if this is good enough. What I've learned in my 10 plus years of filmmaking is what I've learned in my 10 plus years of knowing how to work this camera is that you got to just post your content, you got to do you, and you got to let it work itself out. I say that to say some of my best content, or some of my most popular content, is definitely content that I didn't anticipate on people liking. And if you've had a chance to check out any of my other YouTube channels, you can see some of the different content I posted over years, and I really had no clue that people would like it. So I say that to say, stop overthinking and just do it, number one. Something else I want to touch on is also the power in collaboration. You got to be around like-minded people, and one of the biggest things I did early on was thinking I could just do it myself. Oh, I got to be by myself, and there's nobody that wants to do this. Look, when you're around other creative people, it makes a difference. When you're around other creative people, number one, it keeps you creative. It also keeps you inspired. It kind of does the same thing that buying new gear does, for me, to be honest. So, try to collaborate with people. Y'all don't have to be on the same level. Now, trust me, when I say collaborate, I don't mean you go spend a couple $1,000s on a camera and you letting everybody play with your camera. That's not what I mean at all. What I mean is other people who are serious like you, other people who are interested in film or interested in doing any type of creative work like you. Meet up with those people, work with those people, collaborate, try to create something. Aside from that, I don't have a whole lot of regrets when it comes to filmmaking, or, aside from that, I really don't have a lot of regrets. Honestly, I want to tell everybody, and I'm sure a lot of you all can relate, picking up the camera is by far the smartest thing I ever did, and also been one of the most beneficial things that have happened to me in my life. I originally picked up a camera. I got my first film photography camera when I was in elementary school, and I didn't use it. I sucked at it, but it's crazy because that spark from a child is kind of what got me to this point, and what has allowed me to create a lot of stuff that I've created. I've created some great content over the years. I've met a lot of people. I worked with a lot of people. I've been able to do a lot of things, and all of that comes from having a love for the camera. And all the different cameras I've owned so many different cameras at this point. I remember my first my very first DSLR was a Nikon D3100. My second DSLR was a Nikon D600. From there, I remember I got a Canon 5D Mark III. I remember I maxed out my credit card for that Mark III in college. From the Mark III, I got an A6300. From the A6300, I got a GH5. From the GH5, I got the Blackmagic Pocket 6K. From the Pocket 6K, I got the Zcam F6. From the F6, I picked up a Komodo. And also I have a couple other cameras. I have plenty of Polaroids. I have a Canon 5D Mark II, a Canon EOS R that I use for photography. I actually still own the Komodo and my Zcam F6. Those are my two current favorite cameras. But man, when I tell you that Blackmagic took me to a whole nother level at the time, hey, don't sleep on Blackmagic. I can't make a video like this and not tell you all about the time I cashed out, maxed out my credit card on a Canon 5D Mark III because I thought it was going to take me to the next level. I never forget, at the time I was watching YouTubers like Jacob Owens and other people. They were using this 5D Mark III, And at that time, I had no understanding of like lighting, cinematography as a whole, anything like that. So in my mind, I'm like, this 5D Mark, if I get this 5D Mark III, I'm gonna have videos look like that, and I'm gonna go crazy with it. So I bought this 5D Mark III, and I'll never forget, I was shooting music videos in trap houses for $150. Those are some of my earliest clients, and big shout out to them. But I never forget, the whole thing was, oh, I get this camera and I'm gonna go here. That was my whole logic. Like, oh, I gotta get the latest, greatest, gotta get that. And if any of you all remember the 5D Mark III, then what you know about the 5D Mark III is that was like one of the first best good HD cameras that really, like, I mean, people were shooting that 5.3. That was like the new 4K at the time. So I say that to say you definitely don't need to cash out. Do not max out your credit card for a camera, especially nowadays. There's so many different cameras. I think I paid like, at the time, maybe like $2,200 for that camera. Nowadays, you can go pick up an A6300 for like maybe $500 or $600, and the quality gonna be stupid. It's important to not jump the gun, and also to invest in other things like lighting and different things like that. So, but other than that, when it comes to regrets, as a filmmaker, as a music video director, as a content creator, I don't have any regrets. I say that to say that a lot of the times you got to take that first step. When you take that first step, that's what gets you to that next step. That next step is what gets you to where you're supposed to be. But keep this in mind. In real life, it's a lot more steps than that. I shortened it up to maybe 2 or 3 steps, but trust me, I've been making steps my whole life. I've been creating my whole life. And I encourage you all to do the exact same thing. But I just want to let everybody know, happy holidays. Christmas is around the corner. I hope everybody has a great time, and let's going into the new year, let's focus on creating. Let's stop overthinking. Let's focus on creating, and beyond creating, let's focus on actually sharing what we create. Let's focus on sharing what we create. So everybody, I'm gonna be posting more next year on all my YouTube channels, and I want you all to do the same thing. Let's get to it. Let's create. And I apologize. I guess from the thumbnail, you probably thought the video was gonna go a whole different other way, but no, I'm sorry. I'm being a typical YouTuber, but it was a little bit clickbait with the thumbnail. But keep creating and put your best foot forward, and let's do it. 2023 is right around the corner. Let's do it. Peace.